So, Spence.
Yeah.
Informal chat today.
Informality.
We do our stuff at the whiteboards, and we do our serious stuff to camera and our talks and at conferences and everything. But some of our best conversations, if you was a witness to this, you might challenge it. But some of our best conversations are in a morning in the office when we all pick a topic or we start talking about something, and we get really opinionated by it, and you know.
It's you get a lot out of it because, for me, I understand that some people are quite binary about certain things. They're believing in certain things. I don't necessarily mean that they are one or the other, but listening to other people's opinions without them being overly challenged, because they are challenged, but they're not overly challenged, and it doesn't get into an argument. It remains a discussion, and that I just get so much out of that.
So I wanted to bring a little bit of that into this video today and try and link the discussion we were having in the office this morning into some of the work we do on personal development and get the viewers thinking about themselves. We're going to ask some specific questions in this informal chat. I want us to answer them or have a go at answering them. And I want the viewers to listen to this and think, if I was to answer this question, what truly is my answer to the question, and what does it tell me about me? And it's really important. So I got reading about the famous Marcel Proust. French, is that right?
French, yeah.
So I don't know what the pronunciation of that is.
Late 19th century, early 20th century author,
novelist,
philosopher to a certain degree.
Marcel Proust. If you've never heard of him, you probably want to check out his work.
Although I would actually, I would stay away from À la recherche d'un perdu, because that is hard going.
And if you can pronounce that, I'll give you a Brucey bonus. So, Marcel Proust, amongst many other things, is infamous for his questionnaire. Now, it was interesting because you'd not heard of the questionnaire.
No, because, I mean, subsequently, obviously, because you sort of said, what do you think about this? And I'm like, never heard of it before. And then I did a little bit of a digging about, and it seems to be that it was around before him, but through him answering it in 1890, and then in 1896 comparing the answers, and people wanted to hear about what Marcel Proust wrote and what his thoughts were. It really popularised it. It sort of brought it to the fore, and that's why when we're talking about it, it's like Proust's questionnaire.
So when you finish this video, if you want to know all of the questions and research all of the 35 questions that back in the 19th century?
No, the Vanity Fair one, the more recent version, the last half of the 20th century into the 21st century, we got the big questions. The early version, but the early version was, I think it was a maximum of 20 questions.
So if you want to research, you can research it. Either way, now there's 35 questions in this questionnaire. And if you think about it, Marcel Proust's early work was the first form of psychometric testing. We didn't have algorithms then. We didn't have data and the capacity to carry out masses of research as we do now. But he was almost first to the table on, if you ask enough relevant questions to an individual, it will give you an indication of their character. So the questions, I think, the beauty of these questions is it's probably nothing you haven't ever answered before, but the phrasing, the terminology and the words used is very clever, and I like it. So what Spence and I have done is we've been debating these in the office.
To a certain degree, yeah.
We've picked 5, or dare I say it, I've picked 5, and just asked you to go along with it in usual fashion. So I want to throw a few out there, and then we'll answer them, Spence, and then maybe we'll wrap it up at the end with why these types of questions give you an indication of your true character. And from a personal development perspective, this is really important, right? We ask people lots of questions in our one-to-one stuff, and it's similar to this. Answers are fascinating to us. The surface level answers, which quite often are not the true answers of the person, and we'll come to that. First question that I loved on the Marcel Proust questionnaire was, what is your idea of perfect happiness? Not happiness. What is your idea of perfect happiness? it's an interesting question.
It is.
Most people, Spence, will default to being on a beach, £1 million in the bank, with a cocktail in my hand, and not caring the world.
A lottery win and everything that brings along.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm cheap. I'm not high maintenance. Cheap date. Yeah, a lottery win, substantial lottery win, and everything it brings along. I personally wouldn't do that, but.
So, what is your idea of perfect happiness?
This is, for me, to be honest with you, this is like asking me what my favourite song is.
Well, we've been there before.
Or what my favourite movie is. I can't say because it changes from week to week or month to month.
But to play devil's advocate, isn't this a completely different question to what's your favourite music? Because I'm the same as you. I could pick 10 songs that are one of my favourite songs of all time. But isn't what is your idea of perfect happiness more deep-seated and therefore probably easier to detect when you get to it?
No. I know that in the past I've not necessarily searched for happiness itself, but I've been in a place where I think to myself, this is what I've dreamed of. This is what I've achieved. I've attained this, whether it's through luck, judgment, effort, whatever. I've achieved what I may have considered to be an ultimate happiness, if you like, a perfect happiness. And when I've got there, I've like, so what now?
So you're not going to answer the question.
Well,
you're not going to answer the question because this is the thing. It's easy to say a surface level answer like £1 million in the bank on a beach in the Caribbean with not caring the world. I don't believe that that's potentially the true answer to what people are trying to say with that answer. Or you struggle and you need more time.
Yeah.
I mean, the way I would answer this question, I'll give you a couple of minutes to think. The way I would answer this question is, because when I struggled when it was first asked to me, and I did have to think about it a little bit, but I would go off a feeling more than anything else. How does it feel when I am truly in that moment where I'm fulfilled and happy? And as I was saying in the office this morning, anybody who knows me or works with me, I am one extreme or the other. I am high octane, hyperactive, have to be doing a million things unless I'm challenged and doing things. I'm either at that end of the spectrum or I'm literally like, angry, irate, bored, frustrated at the other end of the spectrum. So when I truly thought about this, the first thing that popped into my head, and I'm going to be honest, the first thing that popped into my head was when I've had 3 glasses of wine. This is going to make me sound like an alky. The idea of, I feel perfect happiness when I'm in that mellow state, that mid state of not high octane, rushing around, having to be doing things, not bored and frustrated and impatient. I'm just chilled. And usually for me, that's 3 glasses of wine. However, do I drink every day of the week? No, I don't. So does that mean I can't find perfect happiness without 3 glasses? No, it doesn't. But what else, therefore, would put me in that middle state where I can just be present and feel that the way I feel? Well, watching my kids play, socialising with friends, all of the going to rugby with my boy. I coach at the rugby team. All of those things put me in that mid state, that mellow state where I'm neither high or low.
But it's that balance thing, isn't it? I mean, unlike you, I don't drink wine very frequently. Well, I'm not saying that you drink it very frequently, but for me, that presents itself when I drink beer or lager. If I have 3 pints of lager, I am practically unbeatable at pool. But if I have 3 pints and 1 mouthful, it just sort of tips the balance. So it doesn't work.
You've got to find that middle state. So it is an interesting question. Why is it interesting? I mean, we do a lot of work on unconscious motivators and what drives motivates people.
Yeah.
We're trying to do that so we can find out, because different people, as we're discovering, are fulfilled by different things.
Yes, very much so.
And quite often nobody stops to ask the question for me of what makes me happy truly. Not what I think makes me happy at a surface level. Don't get me wrong, you could stand there and argue with me that, Martin, £1 million in the bank would give you more opportunities to find that middle ground that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Maybe. But for me, the true absolute perfect happiness for me is when I am present I'm neither high or low, and I can observe my children, I can liaise with socialise with other human beings. It's calm, it's not rushed, but it's interesting and not boring.
Yeah.
And for someone with my personality traits, I can't always find that.
No. A bit of a toughie.
But because I live like that and I enjoy the roller coaster, then when I do find it, it's good.
Well, yeah, again...
Here's the other thing, and we probably haven't got as much time if we're going to get through a few questions on this video, but I think there's a misconception about happiness.
Right.
In the modern day. I think more and more as generations have gone on, we think we've got a God-given right to be happy all of the time. That happy is the emotion you must feel. You mustn't feel fear, stress and anxiety.
It's an expectation.
Yeah.
You expect to be happy rather than be grateful when you are happy.
Whereas, it's one emotion is happiness. It's one emotion, and as is fear, as is anger, as is sadness. We've got to have this multitude of emotions and understand that we've got to embrace them for certain reasons through life. Would happiness even be happiness if it was it all the time?
No, it'd be default setting, wouldn't it? It'd be normal, so you'd be like, well, yes, this is nice, but is this it?
Exactly. Which is why I have my 3 glasses of wine on a Thursday and a Friday, and not a Monday to Wednesday. Okay, next question. Another provocative question. What is the trait you most deplore in yourself? I like the use of the word deplore.
Yeah, that's quite... It's unambiguous, that,
if you said, what is the trait you most dislike in yourself? You'd go, oh, well, where do I start? Boom, 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 boom. When you say, what is the trait you most deplore in yourself, it stops you in your tracks because you've got to really hate it.
Yeah.
Right.
Hate's a strong word, and to be brutally honest, there's very little that I hate personally. But if you were to ask that question to me, I would probably the thing that deplore's a strong word. The thing that disappoints me about myself, I think, is the inability to confront when it's really appropriate. To the inability
Conflict.
for me. To actually,
so if
create conflict, I suppose.
If something doesn't sit right with you, or you want to challenge something, your ability to address that in the moment confidently, sometimes you'll back away from it because of
a lot of the time I'll back away from it. Yeah. So and I'll be wandering around afterwards, going, "You should have said something, Spence. You should have said something. Why don't you say something?"
Funnily enough, mine is. I wish I was a bit more like you, rather than steaming in with 2 feet. Yeah, I know what you mean. But then it's not something to deplore, because the other side of that for you is it gives you the quality of who you are. That amiable, amicable, peacekeeper, mediator, always considering the other point of view.
But it's the incapability of being able to go to that place when, even when I'm doing the stuff on TV and all the resistance to interrogation stuff, that's not me. That's the role I play. And I can put that hat on and go into that room and do that. But when it's not appropriate to do that, I haven't got that confidence. So it's attaining a balance, really. And I feel that I'm the fat kid on the seesaw, on the side of being mellow. And I just want to sort of say, look, it's my turn to be a little bit... I want to be able to turn around to people and say, see what you've just done there? That's not right.
Yeah.
And I can't.
And have the courage and conviction to do it where it's you. Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, I would have a list of things I deplore about myself, believe it or not. Do you know what, though? I also have a long list of things I admire in myself, and that's not been... Me and my children was having a conversation the other day, and my wife came in and she gave a completely different perspective, and it's great in our house because we have the ability to do that.
Yeah.
But my 8-year-old daughter asked me, "Daddy, can you have too much confidence?" And I said, "Never." And my wife sort of looked over the table and I went, "Never can you there's no such thing as too much confidence." Anybody who ever tells you, I'll throw it out there, anybody who ever says to you, you're too confident or you're overconfident, is probably either jealous and wishes they had that level of confidence, or they find it intimidating.
Yeah.
Because you can't be overconfident, too confident. So my wife then comes in and says, "Yeah, but you can be too cocky So I said, but is that not a different thing?
Yeah.
Are we now going into arrogance?
Yes.
And for me, confidence and arrogance are two completely different things.
Yeah.
So we had this really interesting debate about it, and I was saying to my children, never apologise for being confident. You cannot be overconfident, but recognise when you start to become arrogant. And we talked about some of the things that would differentiate between the two.
Yeah.
But coming back to it, what is the trait I deplore the most in myself? I wish I had more tolerance of certain situations and things. I wish I had that at times, working on it, but I wish I had it. But I guess, honestly, and you might smile when I say this, honestly, I think the one thing that I do sort of think it's a strength sometimes, but the one thing I deplore in myself is when I go into overdrive, other people can't get a word in.
No, shit. No, really?
I mean, talking about hogging a meeting. If you give me the platform, I'm going, right? So, and even though we teach social sciences for a living, I've still got to be conscious of when to just refrain from wanting to.
Which is difficult when you're passionate about something.
Yeah, but there's a time and a place for it. Okay, two interesting questions there. The third one we highlighted, and again, some of these questions are fascinating, but we've highlighted the ones that we think sort of stir an emotion in people or really make you think. On what occasion do you lie? You're on camera.
Yeah.
Sharon's going to see this.
Yeah. I lie. I usually try and lie for the good things.
Well, the first thing I'm going to say on this, Spence, is the first thing you've said is, I lie when. Which is great, because I lie. And anybody watching this who goes, I don't lie, you're lying. Right?
Yeah.
For the reasons we will explain. But most people you ask that question to, because of social sciences and our survival instincts and the stigma with telling a lie and the way we're brought up, you'll go, I don't lie, it's one thing I don't stand for. And I defy any human being to sit in front of anybody and say they have never lied. So go on, I lie when?
I lie when I want somebody to feel... Right, here you go. I lie when I want to manipulate somebody. Right?
Interesting.
So straight away people are like, he's a liar and he's a manipulator. But what I'm on a bit of a one-man crusade to change people's views of the word manipulation, because everybody manipulates people. Does this dress make me look fat? Right, which way am I going to go with this? Yeah? So, no, darling, it doesn't. Obviously, this isn't about my wife. This isn't about my wife. But the thing is, you say, no, you're changing somebody's perception of the self for the good.
Well, let's talk about, there's three types of lies that you can tell. There is the embellishment. The embellishment is where you slightly embellish a story or a fact to just enhance it for the greater good.
I was going to say it's not there to fool somebody or deceive.
It's not an outright lie.
Yeah.
It's not an outright lie. It's just an extension, an embellishment of the truth.
We can see that when we go out socialising with the expressives, and you're in a group and the expressive person is holding court and telling a tale and the thing is, you're sort of sat there thinking, oh yeah, I've heard this one before, we've heard this one, yeah, we know, and this happens, and this happens, and this happens. Oh, that's new.
90% of people have been for a job interview. And they've been for a job interview, and the crucial question comes at the end of the job interview where the employee's really interested, and they say, so, how much are you currently on where you work now?
Yeah.
I defy any human being to not embellish the answer of that.
Of course, yeah.
Right? If I'm on 25k, I'm going to say 30.
Yeah.
Right?
Don't make you a bad person.
An embellishment is an extension of the truth. Then there is it's omitting. Is it omitting? The omitting lie, where we omit certain facts from. Yeah. So the embellishment is we add to.
Yeah.
When we're omitting, we're removing certain facts out of the situation. It's still potentially a lie, but we feel that is relevant. So, someone says, I played football last week and I scored a goal, and someone says, how far out with you was you when you scored your goal? And it started off at 10 yards. I think by the 5th pint it ended up 30 yards. Slightly embellish it. Whereas, let me give you an example, and it's nothing to do with being unfaithful or cheating or anything, but let's say a man who has to travel with work, he's travelling with his colleague, another male, and a female from the office. And his wife says to him, who are you travelling with? And for whatever reason, most people on this planet should have a relationship where they can say, I'm travelling with Spencer and Janet, right? But the omitting lie might be going, me and Spencer are going to London. And the reason why they've omitted that piece of information out is because they don't want their partner to worry.
Yeah.
Now, that could make things 10 times worse, but they believe they're doing a good thing.
Yes, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the first two types of lie are embellishment or the omitting lie. The third type of lie is the outright fabrication, the outright lie, which is, for me, the only one of the three which is a bad lie. When you completely fabricate something up that isn't true, that's a lie. Whereas embellishment and omittance, I think, have their place in society.
Yeah. Yes,
because omittance, you want to usually protect the person from something. You know, like you said, do I look fat in this? No. Right? We'd all like to think we've got the relationship, but we do that, right? So, you lie to protect. In me, if I ever was to lie, it's to protect people's feelings.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Or
get a bigger salary, or get a bigger salary when I go for a job. Right. Next question. I think we're all got two more left. Which talent would you most like to have? Which talent would you most like to have?
The flippant answer would be, I'd love to be able to lie in.
I thought you were going to say lie then.
No, lie in.
Yeah, because you don't sleep very well.
I don't sleep very well, no. We once had a tasteless conversation in a bar after 3 beers, and we were talking about if you were to have an affliction, what affliction would you have? And I think I picked. Well, I struggled between two, but one of them was the one that you fall asleep.
I can't remember what it's called.
I can't remember what it was.
Or you just randomly fall asleep.
Yeah. Love to. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't love that. That's a horrible thing for the people who suffer for it. But that's just me. I'd love to be able to lie in, because I never seem to feel refreshed when I wake up.
You can't sleep properly.
Yeah. But that'd be the flippant answer. But what I'd really like to do is be able to play piano.
Yeah.
I'd love to be able to play. Don't get me wrong. Not a grand orchestra, but I'd like to be one of these people who walks into a hotel and there's a grand piano there in the hotel bar or something. Just sit down and just do a little bit of jazz flute, whatever.
Okay, so why would you like to be able to play piano? What's behind that?
I think it's that effortless accomplishment. It's probably just that reassuring thing where you've got control. You can do whatever you want to do. Go into that bar, that hotel reception or whatever. I could do anything I want to do apart from sit down and play that piano. I can lift bags, do stairs, talk to people. I can talk to people. I can engage with people. I can do all that. Yeah, but the one thing I can't do that.
I mean, mine has always been it from being young, and it always will be it till the day I die. Be able to, because I'm a believer, as you know, that I can do anything.
Yeah.
With the time and practice and effort, I can do anything. But the one thing, and we had this conversation the other day, I don't think I could ever do well, no matter how many lessons I had, would be to sing.
Right, okay.
I do believe you can be trained to sing, but I could believe you've either got it or you haven't to an extent. And I love music. I love live music, and I'd love to be able to sing. Because as you know, I'm not shy of taking the centre stage and getting up there and performing. And I think if I was able to sing,
strutting around the office with your Hoover doing your Freddie Mercury.
Oh, the buzz! I watched Queen Live Aid with my children the other day.
Yeah.
Freddie Mercury's 20-minute set, whatever it was. And it's just spine tingling. And there was a shot of him behind him with Wembley, all doing Radio Gaga.
Oh yeah.
Simultaneously, and him commanding that 80,000 people. It was just spine tingling, and I'd love to be able to do that.
Cool.
And that's probably something in my narcissist personality that I'd love the affection and the attention of being a singer. Right, final one. And again, there's 35 questions. We've covered 5. But all of these questions are starting to probe around what is your character? And have you deeply thought about some of these things? What is your motto? If there was, we all have sayings, and the world's not full of, it's not short of motivational sayings these days. And people sometimes say stuff they've read on the internet or they've heard, and it's a good quote or whatever it might be. But I think everybody, if they really think about it, has a motto that when all said and done, you live by every single day. What would yours be?
For me, for a long, long time, you probably don't realise this, but for a long, long time, it was treat others how you would like to be treated. Now
we've debunked that one.
Well, I think it modified it. I've modified it a little bit. Treat others in the manner you would like to be treated, as in respectful, not disrespect, and courtesy, that sort of thing. Yeah. But I think the one thing that means the most to me, the one thing that I do live by, or try to live by, and I try to get my family to live by, is rule 1.
I know rule 1.
Rule one. Don't be a dick. Everything else falls into place behind that. If you observe rule 1, you'll be all right.
Do you know what I like about that? Some people watching this and go, that's a bit vulgar, or you do have to use that language. You use it with your kids, right?
Yeah.
It works. I like the fact that when you say to somebody, don't be rude to people, don't forget your manners, don't do this. But when you say to somebody, do you know what? Just don't be a dick. It hits you there a little bit. It's like, why would I want to be like that or be perceived as that, right? And I love that because you talk to your boys about it all the time.
Yeah, certainly.
You don't even have to say the words now. You just say to them,
rule 1.
Don't forget rule 1.
Yeah, that's it.
And I said to you this morning, if in 30 years from now, your boys are talking to their children saying, do you know what my dad always used to say to me?
Yeah.
Don't be a dick. And I've always lived by it. Then you won't have gone too far wrong.
Yeah, that's what. Yes, I believe that.
And I like that. And that's your nature as well. It's not your nature to be like that for any reason. You can try and avoid it at all costs.
I think one of the driving points behind it is this raising this social media thing, because I don't care who you are and where you've been. How many times have you opened social media up and thought, that's a bit harsh? What did he say that for? And people are being dickish to other people for no reason other than to be dickish. You know what? I'm going to piss him off because I can. And that rails against everything that I hold dear.
Yeah. And we always say this. Me and Dave have fascinating conversations about social media. I'm not one for trolling. I understand debate, and I think we all should have an opinion.
Yeah.
But when you start to go out your way to comment and counteract other people's views, which ends up in a thread of just arguments and disagreements, why?
Yeah.
I can look at someone's post on Facebook and think, what a dick.
Yeah.
But I don't need to comment on it.
Yeah.
And I don't need to.
Yeah.
I've got bigger fish to fry.
There are literally thousands of other people looking at the same comment thinking exactly the same as you.
And there's also thousands of people agreeing with the comment.
Yes.
So this is the world, right?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But I do like that motto, and it isn't a joke, and it isn't just for. It's what you say. It's what you share with your children. It's what you bring them up to be, and I think it has quite a resonance. We can get all posh with words, and we can, get all philosophical at times. But just don't be a dick.
Yeah,
simple,
straightforward.
What about you? Mine's going to seem all serious. Well, I've got it tattooed on my chest.
Oh, yeah.
It's also written in my book dedicated to my children.
Right.
And it's also where it stems from is one of my favourite lyrics in a song of all time. But I sort of probably look at it different to the way the lyric was meant. Who knows how it was meant when he wrote it. But I love the Smiths, I love Morrissey in particular, and they have a famous song called There Is a Light That Never Goes Out. You're familiar with it?
Yes, I am, yeah.
There is a light that never goes out. To me, when I had children, this became really, really... I started thinking about this particular lyric because me and my wife had this conversation, and I said to her, and it was really interesting, but I said to her, listen, I will always love my children because they are my children, and I can't choose them to not be my children, and I can't ever choose them not to be my bloodline.
Yeah.
It's DNA. However, me and you, our love will always be a choice. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
At which point she flinched, if you know my wife, and that's probably the worst thing I could say to her. And I said, no, let's think about this logically. I'm sure we will be in love forever because we've been going this long, 15 years, we're still as magical as ever, etc. However, it will always be a choice.
The only person in your life you choose to be related to.
Yeah. And I said, whereas my children, it's never a choice. I will love them, hopefully, unconditionally and regardlessly.
Yeah.
It's like a light that never goes out.
Yeah.
Because I was listening to a lot of Morrissey and I thought, ooh, it's quite poignant.
Yeah.
So when I wrote my book, me and the kids say it to it all the time, there is a light that never goes out. And what it means to the children is, no matter what happens, there is a light, which is this, and it will never go out.
Yeah.
Just have that security and that assurance that that's always there.
Yeah.
And then I wrote it in my book when I dedicated the book to the children. Just remember, there is a light that never goes out. And then I got it incorporated into a tattoo on my chest. So it's become our family thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes, and she melts my heart when my middle daughter, because she knows how much it means to me, when she's been really naughty, or when she's tested the patient, she'll creep back up, she'll give me a cuddle, and she'll say to me, there is a light that never goes out, Dad. And I can't help, but it's just like she knows what she's doing. It's like putty in my hand. And I have to respond in kind to that.
Yeah, of course.
So I guess that's my motto, as in no matter what happens with business, with your jobs, in life, with, in relationships, whatever it might be, whether you've got kids or not, what's your light that never goes out? It might be your mother, it might be a best friend, it might be something, I don't know. But there's always that light there, I guess, that hope. And that's quite deep for me. I preferred yours, don't be a dick. That's my motto, and it's hopefully the kids will again remember that in years to come.
Yeah.
So, let's wrap this up. The Marcel Proust Questionnaire. Check it out online. 35 questions. We've covered 5 of them, but there's some really thought-provoking questions in there from, what is it that you most dislike? What is your greatest regret? Who are your heroes in life?
Yeah.
Which living person do you despise? Which living person do you admire the most? When and where are you most happiest? Who or what is the greatest love of your life? I mean, they sound deep questions. What is your most treasured possession? I'd struggle with that.
I would. I'd struggle with that.
I don't know if I have a treasured possession that I can go that.
I think
I have a few things passed down from my grandfather.
Yeah.
A ring and a watch from years ago, 40 years ago. And it's sentimental, and I keep it in a box, and I'll try and pass it on to my kids, but I don't know if I have a treasured possession.
No.
People say kids, it winds me up.
Yeah,
kids aren't your possessions for a start.
Yeah.
Right, so there's a lot of questions, but it just challenges you to think about your morals, your values, your compass, what you stand for, what makes you the most happiest, etc. And it's possibly the most earliest stripped back form of psychometric testing there ever was.
And I think that something like this is as good to use in the home as it is to do at work.
That's interesting.
Because I think that there's a number of different things. Firstly, you might get some surprises. Usually like a parlour game. You could use those questions and structure it like a parlour game. There might be some surprises, but when you start asking your kids questions at age 10, and then you ask them again at age 20,
has it changed?
Or age 15 and age 20, perspective changes, maturity comes along. When we're starting to talk about that prefrontal cortex connecting to the rest of the brain, when those connections are completed. Is that when maturity happens? Or is it a precursor to maturity? Because, I must admit myself, I matured really late. But this is fun. It's not like sitting them down, shining a light in the face and saying, tell me this.
And this is what we do, Spence, at Trans 2. And this is why we sort of think of this debate is we're trying to ask the questions of people that unconsciously you don't ask, or that you certainly won't be asked down the pub.
Yeah.
We're trying to dig deep and lift the covers.
Yeah.
You think like this, you act like this, this troubles you, this stresses you out, this makes... Why?
Yeah.
Where does that come from? What's driving that? And how can you connect with that? Already, for example, what's the value of that, you might say? Are we just having a conversation? Well, today for me, having that conversation this morning and recording this video off the cuff now has absolutely challenged me to say, right, I'm either up there or I'm bloody down there, right? I'm either elated and self-fulfilled and I've got dopamine flowing through my veins, or I'm pissed off right?
Yeah.
How do I find the middle ground more without having 3 glasses of wine every night? Hold on, I might.
So questions come out, the answer's there, something's been identified. What can we do about it? How can I change things?
Exactly, which will put me in good stead. Yeah. Spencer, I could talk to you all day about that. I think we'll end it there because we're probably on about 40 minutes or so, I reckon.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's called the Marcel Proust Questionnaire. Check it out if you're into self-awareness and a bit of even a bit of fun, like you say. And just see what answers you come up with when you think deeply and not just at a surface level, and what is it telling about your character, your mindset at the moment.
Yeah, cool.
Spencer?
Martin, thank you very much.
I love the Buddha Room stuff.
It's all right, the headless Buddha Room.
The headless Buddha Room. Hopefully we'll get the glue and it'll be sorted and we'll stick it on the table next time. Awesome, so we'll be back again with another video.